Live. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. Bitcoin, is it Rektember? Or is it the stock market that's going to get wrecked? Why does crypto trade like garbage? I'll tell you. Did you know that a major sponsor of a crypto channel just got hacked for $40 million? As if the drama at this one particular network could get any higher. We'll talk about it. We will talk about the solar eclipse coming up in October and what it means and what you should do about it. We're also going to connect that to what's going on right now in crypto. So it's Labor Day in the United States. It's sort of a sacred secular holiday. Labor Day was created because churches and workers and manufacturers needed to give workers a day off that wasn't religious. On the East Coast, everybody heads to the beach because all the beaches and pools close for the official end of summer. So happy Labor Day. If you're catching us from the pool on your phone, we definitely appreciate that. Speaking of appreciating people, let's welcome who's here. Philip, Luis, happy Labor Day, right? Sydney Oss, welcome, right? K-Real, Malik, new names here. Richard Barry, a mainstay, welcome. Welcome to the show. Crypto Crazy, Katzman. Okay, only crypto influencer I follow working today. Right on. Right on. Father Beck, am I too early? Sir, you are not too early. You are not too late. You are right on time. You are right on time. Robin is here. Too much gloom and doom. I need some positive news. Okay, well, I do have the two best charts in crypto. Forgot to mention that. The two best charts in crypto. Unfortunately, Robin, you're going to have to cover your ears when I show you the worst chart in crypto, but I do have it. Routine Cheese in the house. Is September always a bearish month for the stock market? Does it make a difference that we are still in an uptrend? Okay, well, I did coin the term Rektember, okay? 1929, 1987, the tops were right after Labor Day. Now, I can say that, and I really didn't have a reason to believe that that could happen other than the eclipse and some of the other coincidences, which you will undoubtedly hear a lot about in the coming months. But of course, you're hearing it here first because that's what I try to do here. Get it to you first. Raj, Bypass Barry, Bull Runner, Patriot, Caveman, New Orleans. Forget about it. Love that. Put that up there. Forget about it. Aiken. Oh my God. Aiken is back. Welcome. Don't Ask 6 from Oklahoma. Flashgan. AZ. Welcome. 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 News right now. Let's go. Magic Leaps seeks a turnaround. So IP around high-tech optics, metaverse, AI, even though the company failed, everyone wanted their IP around these high-tech optics. So if you can't sell your product in Silicon Valley, if you're AI and metaverse, guess what? Somebody is willing to take your IP for probably more than your company's worth. That's not what it says here. All right. Now, here's a little funny YouTube thing. Speaking of YouTube, Stake, according to Watcher Guru, was just hacked for $43 million. Stake was a sponsor of a YouTube channel, okay, that, has been in the news lately. Just as a point of information about social media, my stream that went to, let's just say a social media platform that you use for like jobs and stuff like that, right? Begins with an L. Okay, when that stream about that channel was streamed to this platform that begins with an L, they shut down my account. And they basically told me I had 2 strikes when I didn't even know I had 1. And I had to beg them to get my account back. Just in case you think you have free speech on some of these platforms. Now, back to the platform that we're on now. Shorts risk cannibalizing core business, says senior staff. I've seen this. People are so afraid of TikTok. They are so afraid of TikTok. I can do a short video recommended by a service and get 2,000 views. That's how afraid the world is of TikTok. Also on TikTok, just as a random point of information, I think I am the economics professor of TikTok. Like kids who don't know anything about economics and want to know, they look at it. It's funny. I got 2,000 more followers on TikTok than YouTube. But of course, you're watching me on YouTube, I think. So I appreciate everybody who's here. I like this. Ukraine cannot win against Russia now, but victory is possible in 2025. That sounds like the U.S. rap in the 70s about a war that began with a V. Okay. Every big mistake starts with denial. You know, I'm Ukrainian, so, you know, we know who I'm cheering for in that situation, but every big mistake starts with denial. Okay, a former president's status as an anti-hero is making him unstoppable. Very popular strategy, okay, for perhaps the left wing of the spectrum is to make sure that somebody on the right end of the spectrum is controversial and perhaps beatable. Okay, meanwhile, in the middle, my voter registration card has arrived. And just as a reminder, RFK Jr. is making promises about crypto that I've never even heard of before. So my voter registration card is in the house, and I'm not voting for anybody from any past establishments. Like my kid says it correctly. Anybody other than this president and perhaps the last, she is a 23-year-old individual. That's how they feel. Okay. I think in this case, sometimes with the government, the more they persecute you, the more they come down on crypto, the more they take our freedoms away, the more powerful they make us. Rich men north of Richmond reading the Bible on Joe Rogan. Okay. The harder they push, the harder we can push back. Or as Michael Saylor said, inflation is inevitable. No one can escape inflation, but everybody can buy Bitcoin. The question is, at what price? UK banks tighten up on work from home. Gee, man, I remember the day where I used to have to commute into New York every single day on the PATH train from New Jersey. And now everybody wants to work at home. Everyone wants to keep their cushy New York or London investment bank job and work at home. I mean, it was a privilege to go to work at the street when I was young. It was a privilege. Like, you know, you'd be on the PATH train with the entire market, the bond market, the stock market, the currency market. Especially if you were on the earlier trains, you were there with the bond market and the currency market. The guys you would compete against, they'd be on the train with you back in the day. Chinese leaders extend billions of dollars to banks from a certain controversial country after Western sanctions. People, here's a hint. And I said this from the beginning, and I'm proud of it. Okay? I'm proud of it. Sanctions don't work. Weaponizing the currency doesn't work. Now, this is common knowledge now. This is common knowledge, but it wasn't when they first did it. Weaponizing the dollar we fell right into a trap. And who knows if we can ever get out of it. I do know that whatever it is, when the disturbance from the eclipse is over, that it's going to be time for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, a certain communist spy agency blasts the U.S. for engagement and containment. Okay, well, you know what? You can bash our intelligence service for doing their job because you can bet their intelligence service is doing their job to undermine Western powers. Okay, like if you're in a fight, you can't blame the other side for throwing punches. Okay, LSE Group joins plans for blockchain digital asset business. Exchange operator in talks with the UK government revenue regulators over new trading venue. Wow. Alternative assets on the blockchain. Does that sound familiar? That sounds like my day job at Emerging Asset Group, right? Where we're trying to get water, gold, and diamonds on the blockchain. Now, Jerome Powell validating Ethereum mine, which is also now becoming common knowledge. Here's what I used to say about inflation. And this is a core argument for crypto. and a core argument for policy error at the Fed. The Fed hikes rates. They hike rates so fast, nobody who owns a house will sell because they have a 3% mortgage, and people who have money don't have enough money to buy a house. So what do they have to do? They have to rent. And they bid up rents. They bid up the price of apartments. The price of apartments is in CPI. CPI goes up. The Fed hikes rates, making housing more unaffordable, driving more people towards apartments, making rents go up. So when the Fed hikes rates, they make inflation worse. And these guys may actually do it again. They may actually do it again. Tobie's got a call that they won't, but I hope she's right because it's just stupid. Now it's on Bloomberg. And again, that is the objective of this show, to get you information anywhere from 1 week to 6 months before it shows up on Bloomberg. Housing shortages turn rental apartments into a scarce commodity across Europe. And that's why rent in New York City is $5,200 a month. The more they hike rates, the more it backfires. Paging Dr. GPT. Tech investors bet AI finally poised to transform healthcare. So I did have a little bit of a healthcare scare earlier in March. Some young doctor comes in and then he comes back, he leaves, he comes back in, and he's got some elaborate, bizarre theory that I didn't say, dude, did you get that from ChatGPT? But he probably did. So they're using it already. You know, if you read Kai-Fu Lee's book, eventually what you're going to have is, AI will do the diagnostics, and then you'll have somebody called a care manager, probably with a medical degree, that will manage your care that the robot gives you. But I don't know that we're there yet. I'm trying to get ChatGPT and related things to talk about GAN. Okay. I don't know if ChatGPT is, going to be talking about my health, but I get it. The media's got to write about something. Hopefully it helps doctors before it hurts them. Is ChatGPT coming for entry-level jobs? In an entry-level job or in any job, the question isn't, are you going to get replaced by ChatGPT? The question is, are you going to get replaced by somebody who knows ChatGPT or related items? I can tell you, thanks to Tobie and Eagle King, I can now use ChatGPT, Pictory AI, Subtitle, and Midjourney. And, I had to get shown. People had to show me and walk me through it. Okay. Because I'm over the age of 35, but I'm proud that I know how to do that stuff. If I added one AI-based program to my repertoire per month, I mean, lately it feels like I've been adding one per week. That's getting a little difficult, but if I added one per month, you're going to have an edge over everybody else. And I'm going to read to you. I'm going to leave this up and I'm going to drive this point home. So to state the obvious, which we don't have to on a crypto show, the government is most likely maybe not telling us everything about the employment picture. So let me tell you about the employment picture, just in case you're down on crypto. Crypto can, get hammered and scare everybody. But at the end of the day, policy error is here. 514,000 people lost their jobs in August. 5.4 million people who were unemployed were not counted in the BLS's 3.8% unemployment rate. Every month's non-farm payroll gain in 2023, in other words, the number that they cook up and feed to the algorithms and the news media, was revised lower. Quietly, of course. 4.2 million people who wanted full-time work were only able to get part-time work. People, listen up. Get busy learning your AI programs. Get busy learning crypto. Seriously, because the day is going to come where all these government policies are going to backfire. Back to school in Ukraine means heading into subway bomb shelters, reminding me of something Tony Robbins tells people, which is, drop your expectations and move into gratitude. Trust me, I'm telling you because I'm reminding myself. Teardown chips break through in a blow to U.S. sanctions. So we're sanctioning a certain country for chips, and shockingly, necessity becomes the mother of invention. And later on in this broadcast, we are going to talk about Nvidia. And I'm going to talk about Nvidia, and I'm going to say things that I'm going to take something that one person is saying, which is unbelievable, and I'm going to put charts to it. If you want to know why crypto trades like poo, I'm going to show you. Labor Day progress report, a shift down to cruising speed for the U.S. job market. 514,000 people out in August, 5.4 million people looking. I really hope the Fed's paying attention to this, because I do not know what the case is for more rate hikes. I don't. Okay. Let's take this down. Economic data takes pressure off the Fed for another rate hike. Geez, you would think. SEC loses court fight. Cannabis stocks rally. Cannabis stocks, a favorite in the S-coin world of equities. Okay. However, people may need to numb themselves one day, which could mean cannabis and the metaverse. Now, Shiba Layer 2 network surpasses 1 million wallet mark. Even though Shiba is barely hanging on to technical support, we'll go over that later. More than 40 million in suspicious crypto outflow from stake. God. I mean, the pain over at that one particular network with these guys as their primary sponsor. Okay. Chinese court op-ed argues crypto is property. Interesting how they're embracing crypto over in China as they have to bail out real estate firm after real estate firm after real estate firm. Worldcoin can improve the world. Why not give it a chance? Well, Worldcoin can help prove you're a human, so it does have value. Not saying it doesn't. However, when I read this headline, I'm like, if Worldcoin can improve the world, why not give it a chance? That's also like saying communism only killed 50 million people. Let's give it another chance. Okay, so communism and Worldcoin are not the same thing, but the globalist agenda should scare you, and it should help give you confidence in crypto. So even if they hammer it like they hammered it this week, or even if they hammer it and it becomes Rektember, which we will talk about, you just can't give up. Now, to be honest, I said get involved in August, and if it doesn't work, you get stopped out. I got stopped out twice. Hard. Probably at the low on this move. All my stops got triggered. So I lost money. I got hosed. But I'm still not giving up on crypto. And if that doesn't work, Tobie says, buy what you love. Right? That's what she says on Crypto Happy Hour, which you should check out. Because we are going to be taking that Crypto Happy Hour like podcast theme, and we're going to be expanding it. There's going to be like market update casual. Right? So instead of market update formal, sometimes at night, we're going to have market update casual. Don't give up on crypto. Don't. Bitcoin flatlines again, but these other cryptos are poised for an up move. I'm not sure about this. My understanding is that Vitalik is selling Ethereum again, and it's to the point where I can't ignore it. That was released over the weekend. Bank of China. Platforms must provide digital yuan capabilities. SEC should prepare alternative arguments to reject spot Bitcoin ETF. Well, the SEC doesn't have to make alternative arguments about anything because their power is unchecked. Their power is unchecked. Unchecked. Now, over here on Twitter, do not forget Tobie's NFT fine art collection. Not profile pics, not just plain Jane generative NFTs. Fine art. Tobie_Ward. Okay. I am looking for a particular tweet. Okay. You definitely want to check out this on my Twitter. We are officially in a silent depression where this guy compares 1930 to 2023. Basically, he's talking about the percentage of your income that you need to buy a house or a car. Interesting. Okay. Let's see who's chit-chatting in the comments before we go to PowerPoint. Robin says, I'm sitting on a modest pile of gold. Best to keep that during Rektember, or would this be a perfect time to swap into Bitcoin or any other blue chip? Okay, so let's think about gold. I have a gold chart somewhere where an Eagle King brought this to my attention in a tweet. Okay, that, gold over the last many years, gold has actually underperformed oil. And one day, gold's going to catch up. Gold, I believe, is like the primary reserve asset. Now, if you have gold and Bitcoin gets wrecked off the eclipse, then switch it out. Don't switch it out in a sideways market where we don't know what's going to happen, particularly when I show you these Nvidia charts. Okay. Crypto crazy. There is so much unchecked with the government. That is just so true. They used to have checks and balance in the United States. Okay. They don't anymore. Malik says, what about silver? Okay. So here's one of the reasons why I'm not keen on necessarily puking out gold, right? I know you have to be a little bit afraid of higher interest rates or a problem with our bond market. Okay. When I look at this Elliott wave in silver, it's like they're boring you out of the trade, right? Huge multi-year sideways move and a huge up move should be coming. They're just boring you to death. Oops, share screen. In silver, they're just boring you to death. There's actually a link down below, I believe, to a silver symposium that a bunch of guys I know are running in Vegas. So you want to check that out down below. My understanding is tickets on that dropped dramatically. That's in Vegas, I think, in 2 weeks. So I'm not keen to give up on precious metals. Precious metals are in a range and they're boring everybody to death. Okay, but when you look at some of this Nvidia work, I don't know if you're going to be asking me if you should be selling gold. In my opinion, the only reason you should sell gold is if there's a flight to safety, crypto goes up and gold does nothing. Like, in other words, you should do that as a momentum trade. In other words, if silver and gold are not safe havens from any bad things that happen, then dump the silver and crypto and get into gold. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Okay. Big Rich wants to do some bottom fishing in render. All right. I know he put that in before. So let me just do that quick for him, because I know he's been asking about it, and I haven't even looked at Gala. Oh, I haven't seen the chart, but I did see Wendy O kind of, I don't know. She at least had to address it given the size of her Gala bag, right? Here comes render. And then I promise PowerPoint and Nvidia are coming. Okay. Software doesn't want to cooperate. I'll come back to it. I promise. Let's go to PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. PowerPoint market update. Here's it comes. The best chart in crypto. The second best chart in crypto. This is an accumulation cone from Jesse Livermore in GBTC. Okay. GBTC is the Bitcoin Trust that was recently handed a victory over the SEC, and the SEC is going to have to let them become an ETF. Okay. These guys were OG, the original gangsters in crypto. In other words, these guys were the equity market product that people could buy to track Bitcoin, like way back 2017. Before that, these guys have like 500,000 Bitcoin. And let's face it, they are going to get acquired, because the only way to get that much Bitcoin is to acquire GBTC. Adam Moreno says, who listens to that particular influencer I just mentioned? Well, believe it or not, I actually watch her show when I can. Okay. And I watch all of her shorts only because of how hardworking she is. I mean, it's like shock jock stuff. She's not an analyst, but the person's out there hammering every single day. TikTok, shorts, live streams. She's doing TikTok and YouTube streams at the same time, which I got to do. This is the best chart in crypto. This thing on the right comes from Jesse Livermore. He was a technical analyst back in the 1920s. The first chart book ever was his trading diary. So this, if you look at this chart, you would say, if GBTC doesn't break down this week, or at least holds its ground, that, GBTC has a shot at going much higher. Okay, now, one of the worst charts in crypto, ETHE, the Ethereum ETF, or the Ethereum Trust, the GBTC equivalent for ETH, just failed badly at a big diagonal resistance point. Ugh. Yuck, right? This thing feels like if it's going to go up or be stable, it's like Bitcoin only. Like, there is no way we should have seen the price action that we saw in ETH after that Grayscale reversal. And Vitalik is selling. Like, I mean, he is like selling. Let me see if I can get the tweet up. I mean, at first I was like, there was an earlier tweet like, Vitalik sells $1 million worth of ETH. I'm like, well, so what? Okay. Now it's getting really hard to ignore this, right? In other words, Vitalik selling Maker, and supposedly there's more behind this or more involved in this. I'm like, God, you got to be kidding me, right? Where is it? There it is. Here it is. I mean, and this guy is due to speak at Permissionless, which is a conference coming up in September. So, I mean, if Vitalik says the wrong thing at this conference with this yucky ETHE chart, oh my God. Okay, now I promised Robin something good. So let's get to something good. No, that's not something good. Wait. Oh, where is my... Oh, don't have my MicroStrategy chart. Okay. Got to switch over here. Thanks for bearing with me. Sorry. Promise, Robin. Can't break a promise to a loyal reader, loyal viewer. Okay. Let's talk about MicroStrategy. Okay. This is the weekly chart, right? So unless Bitcoin falls out of bed tomorrow, okay, MicroStrategy, this is a diamond and a diamond bottom. If you ask ChatGPT about a diamond formation, it'll tell you the diamond bottom is the most powerful. MicroStrategy comes down to the 38% retracement. It goes up, it comes off on the late week sell-off, but it still closes in the green if you focus in on the candle. And it holds 38%. My upside target in MicroStrategy is $900. This is the best chart in crypto. Now, how do you trade this? Like, what does this mean? Okay, well, I did this one stream. It was probably the lowest rated stream ever recently. It was called AI versus Bitcoin. And naturally, because it's the lowest rated stream, I like it the most because everyone blew it off. Okay, which means whatever I said in there must be powerful. And probably what I said in there is Bitcoin is better than Nvidia. Bitcoin may be better than everything, every risk asset, stocks, bonds, etc. So there could be a weird day because Bitcoin, remember, went up into the last eclipse in April where Bitcoin actually does better at the expense of every other asset. That could include ETH and big alts. Like either this chart's wrong, okay, and MicroStrategy is going to break down and break the chart, or if MicroStrategy goes up, that's because Bitcoin goes up at the expense of everything else. Sound crazy? Yeah. But my theory about CPI and rents and housing was crazy too back in the day. So that's the best chart in crypto. Now, this is the worst chart in crypto. The worst. I did a little video on this. It got a lot of attention. I know there are guys out there that want this. Okay, so this is the bear market, right? Start at 65, you go down, you bounce. Then you have FTX. And then throughout 2023, you have this nice grinding uptrend. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fifth wave, according to the DeMark Elliott wave, could be some sort of new low below 15. And I got to tell you something. I would have paid this chart absolutely no heed whatsoever after the Grayscale victory. I was like, bro, we are so back. And guess what? I had company and they sold the rally. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, it's a failed rally. It took me like a day to realize what was happening. Okay, so you get the point, right? If everything goes down, Bitcoin could go down with it. I'm not inclined to believe in sub 15K, but the case exists. I would rather, I believe personally more in the MicroStrategy chart because of the power of a diamond. Now, continuing on the theme of something good that has to prove itself, we do have a 13 bottom in XRP. So if there are XRP army people out there, you have a 13 bottom, so now's your chance. The question is, does anybody want to buy the dip in XRP? It's not a bull market until you can buy a dip and make money. People were probably more comfortable buying XRP at 82 cents, thinking it was going to $3, and probably nobody wants to buy the dip at 50 cents. So assuming crypto does not get wrecked in September, and it's not Rektember, XRP has a chance of proving itself. So one big up day in XRP would prove a bottom is in. No big up day in XRP, and those people are going to stay depressed. Okay. And if this happens, if this chart takes, it's gross. And I'm going to show you why this isn't, Chicken Little when I show you the Nvidia charts. Speaking of which, here we are. Okay. Here we are. Whoops. Okay. Now let's talk about this. Whoops. Let's talk about this. So there's a video out there by a guy named Nobody Special, okay, who is suggesting that the parabolic, unstoppable rise in Nvidia's stock is effectively some sort of like hedge fund game to bid the stock up, suck retail in, and then drop it big short style. Now, from a common sense point of view, whatever chips Nvidia makes, competitors are going to get in the game, right? The saying from business school, from an economist from a cowboy town, Lubbock, Texas, who went to the University of Chicago, where every professor won the Nobel Prize. He was my teacher in graduate school, and he said, quote, "The more gravy in the kitchen, the more dogs at the door." Meaning if Nvidia's got something special, everyone's going to try to come and eat their lunch. And that's probably going to happen. Now, everyone sort of knows that, okay? But, guys like Kramer are naming their dog Nvidia. And this guy is basically saying that Nvidia stock is like artificially inflated to suck retail in. And there's a hedge fund involved, according to this video, that this hedge fund was also one that was involved in the big short and got away with just like massively shorting these obligations, selling them to whoever they could sell them to through broker dealers, only to see them go to zero. Interesting that they're playing in Nvidia, because Nvidia, according to everybody, is unstoppable. Nobody wants Bitcoin. Everybody wants Ethereum. Again, Coinbase volume, less than Uniswap. Google searches for cryptocurrency couldn't be lower, like 4 or 5 year lows, but everyone wants Nvidia. You want a positive Bitcoin chart? This is the positive Bitcoin chart. Now, of course, Nvidia could take the whole world down with it because that's how big it is. This is like a monster. So Nvidia monthly, right? August just ended. I'm pretty sure that looks like a 9 top. And if you can see it, that's a DeMark 5 wave with a 0, which means done. End of trend, right? End of trend. Especially since they did this thing where they dropped it, this candle where they dropped it and they brought it all the way back. If they close below 450, it's called hanging man. Every other 9 top, like 9 top down, 9 top up, 9 top up, 9 top down. It's like it couldn't get any simpler than this. Okay, Nvidia weekly, 13 top, 9 top, same place. Run the sort of blow off top stop level twice. They ran it up here and they ran it up here. It's 485. Now, just as a reminder, because it's easy to make fun of Cathie Wood and ARK for multiple reasons, right? They were bubble children on the way up in 2021. They got smoked in 2022. But you know what? Even though people make mistakes, they're not totally stupid, right? Cathie Wood sold Nvidia at like 175, right? She sold it early in the year or mid-year, right before this giant gap up occurred. Now, I know Nvidia has earnings. I know all that. But wouldn't it be funny if Nvidia wound up going from 485 back down to where ARK sold it at 200? You think this can't happen? You think this is not a crowded trade? You think it can't happen? Solar eclipse in Libra. Zodiac signs, even though they have funny names, they're just names for quadrants of space. This is preliminary work. Source, Bing, GPT. It's got to be clarified. But I do know guys who are talking about astrological similarities and the eclipse between now and 29 and 87. This solar eclipse that's coming up in October, okay, was in the same sector of space. In the fact, there was another solar eclipse in Libra on September 23rd, 1987. 1987, the stock market topped after Labor Day. It slumped, and then it broke and went down 25% in one day in October of 1987. My father was a stockbroker at the time. Stock trades had to be written down on a ticket, and that ticket had to be walked to the wire room where they would wire it to the floor of the exchange through a teletype message system. No internet, remember. My father said that all the brokers in his office were standing in line with stacks of tickets in their hand because their clients were liquidating their entire portfolio on the day to crash and the days after, only to be selling to Warren Buffett and all the famous 90-year-old investors who scooped everything up and hodled it for, I don't know, however many years. But that eclipse caused a calamity. Or that eclipse was associated with a calamity, however you want to say it. So if you have Nvidia artificially inflated and an eclipse looming, I am really interested to see what the stock market looks like Monday morning, particularly since that video was out over the weekend. So anybody who didn't sell last week, man, they got to come out of the gate in New York. They're like, okay, we're back from the beach. Yours. This could be why crypto trades like garbage. Because crypto is the canary in the coal mine. Crypto knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. We don't have the luxury of being propped up by the Fed. We don't have that luxury, right? The administration doesn't care what happens to crypto. They care about what happens to the stock market. So the Fed can tighten. They don't care as long as the market continues to levitate. But what happens when they walk in and they start selling? They start selling equities. The biggest risk to Bitcoin is Nvidia. Period. End of story. Now, as a side comedic note, we have Shib, which again has all these wallets opening. Everything good is happening. Okay, the 62% retracement is right here around, I'm just going to eliminate the zeros and say 765. I would like to see some of these altcoins hold. I do not like what's going on in altcoins. I just don't. After this thing, I was so comfortable. I got long before the Grayscale thing. I watched old coins go down. The Grayscale rally came. My old coins went back to even. And then Bitcoin sort of went back to 25 and everything I had pooed to bed. And I'm like, I do not like this. Now, so with all that said, let's kind of look at some comments and bundle it all together. See, we got a couple. Boris Leak from Jersey, skipping the Jersey Shore to get to the live stream. I appreciate that. DCA starting in October, says Big Rich. I don't disagree. Okay. You want to be, I personally am coming out of this year long. Okay. Bart says short Nvidia until 320. Okay. Robin said that video was insane and it is insane. It's on my Twitter. It's on my Twitter. It's crazy. Bart thinks XRP is just a matter of time. Steve J is right on time. Okay. Nico F says, what is good water exposure in TradeFi? Okay. So that is kind of the point. It's tough to find water exposure in TradeFi. There is no direct water play. There's bottlers. I'm not familiar with them. Okay. But what I am familiar with, and you can check this out on my Twitter, is the New York Times and CNN are beginning to cover the water shortage. And all I can say is at Emerging Asset Group, we are working hard to make sure that we can take advantage with our blockchain water trading products, which I'm hoping have catalysts coming soon. Okay, so promised as before, if that person is still here, my apologies, render. Okay, so we were talking about the diamond bottom, right? In MicroStrategy, this unfortunately seems to be its evil twin, which is the head and shoulders bottom at the head and shoulders top at the bottom end of a range. Okay. So apparently I'm not the only one seeing this, because as soon as it went to $1.40, it came off. So for render to be good, it's really got to break above $1.45 and invalidate this downtrend line. Otherwise, you're looking at some unspeakable downside target, which undoubtedly you're not even interested in seeing because it could be bad. And just look at Gala just to see if there's any support. Okay, so the best case scenario is Gala has support at 0.0147. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart of Gala if anybody is involved in that. Okay, founders suing each other. You remember Venus is in retrograde or just came out of retrograde. You had Venus in retrograde with Mercury in retrograde at the same time, which means everybody was going to break up. Boyfriends, girlfriends, YouTubers, project founders. Dead Fred is here. Okay, Dead Fred said this could be the lowest low for Bitcoin forever. You know what? I would love to see 25K be the low in Bitcoin, because you know what? It trades so bad. Like, let me make a very ironic case for Bitcoin. Like, seriously, like this ironic case. Like, to me, this is like 90 minutes. Okay, let's go to 4-hour chart. It just trades like total dog do, right? 9 bottom, no rally, right? Crash, 9 bottom, no rally. It's holding support, but it just trades so bad because it's afraid of Nvidia. It's afraid of Nvidia in the morning. What is going on with Bitcoin now has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has everything to do with, it has everything to do with what's going on in stocks. Bitcoin is eventually going to be a buy. It would be funny if it was a buy right now. Again, watch MicroStrategy. Watch MicroStrategy. Okay, Bill, please keep holding your chocolate under the bed, Zcash. Okay? Or just take my loss and convert to BTC. Okay, so I did hold some Zcash. Okay, but I agree. I turned all my other altcoins into Bitcoin. Like I just had to move to Bitcoin just because if 25K holds, it's going to smoke higher. If Nvidia collapses or there's some sort of stock market problem, alts are never going to survive that. But Bitcoin still can hold 25K. And then if that happens, you can go back into alts if there's no Nvidia debacle. But again, starting tomorrow, the eclipse is in effect. So we're praying MicroStrategy holds it together. Okay, we're praying. Okay. And here's a final note. Here is the gold and oil tweet for anybody who's got gold. So gold is up 20%. Oil is up 450% over the last 3 years. Even with the Federal Reserve printing $5 trillion, inflation has eaten up all your profits in gold over the last 3 years. You're actually losing money holding it. Okay, well, we don't have to tell people in gold that it's been frustrating. We don't. And we don't have to tell people in gold that you've been better off with Bitcoin over the last 5 years, even though there's been outrageous volatility. Now, what you do have to ask yourself in gold, especially in gold versus oil, okay, is there going to be some sort of catch up here? Like, I'm not exactly sure how they drew this scale, right? That, you know, oil is doing 300% more better than gold. But what happens if it goes down here and it reverts to the mean? Okay. So again, oil has done better than gold. But what happens if gold all of a sudden catches up? And if you don't think something like that can happen off an eclipse, please think again. Okay. Gold, silver, precious metals are all units of anti-debt. Wow. I like that. Matter and antimatter, debt and anti-debt, not issued or owned by any central bank. Central banks can push gold around. I don't think they can push silver around, and they certainly can't push Bitcoin around. BlackRock can push Bitcoin down, but BlackRock is looking to buy Bitcoin. Unfortunately, retail isn't. Now, I want to end on a positive note. If Nvidia goes down and it takes Bitcoin down, that is every reason to DCA in Bitcoin. Every reason, especially if Nvidia is the cause. If crypto does go down, BlackRock will hoover it up. But if it does go down, it's probably because retail or people like that start giving up on it in a low volume environment just to be able to pay their bills. Seriously, the only reason to sell Bitcoin, from a TikTok video that I had, one guy was like, I had to sell my Bitcoin to buy groceries. The only reason to sell crypto is to buy necessities, which again could be a challenge heading into an eclipse. So I want to believe in Bitcoin, but I don't want to get wrecked in alts. I don't even want to get wrecked in ETH. I mean, if Vitalik is selling ETH, why should I hold ETH? I should hold Bitcoin. Okay, so that is the market update. Enjoy your Labor Day holiday. I will see you on Thursday.